Gary was born on January 25, 1962, in West Virginia, into a childhood defined by abuse, abandonment, and violence. His father died before he was born, and his mother remarried a series of partners, many of whom were physically abusive toward Gary and his siblings. By his early teens, he was homeless, surviving by doing odd jobs and sometimes sex work just to eat. In the 1980s and early 1990s, Gary drifted across the country. He struggled with drug use, poverty, and explosive anger. After a violent attack in 1991, in which he beat a woman so severely she needed reconstructive surgery, Gary served prison time. When he was released, something in him had hardened. In 1994, he began what would become a multi-state killing spree that earned him the nickname the I-95 Killer. Gary specifically targeted gay men. He would meet them in bars or around town, gain their trust, and go home with them. Once alone, he robbed and murdered them, often strangling them and then staging the scene to make it look chaotic and personal. His first known murder was John Hardy Roberts, a 59-year-old man in Daytona Beach, Florida. Roberts allowed Gary to stay in his home when Gary said he was homeless. Bowles repaid the kindness with violence, strangling him, and then stealing his car and credit card. This became Gary's pattern: kill, steal money or a vehicle, flee to a new state along I-95, then repeat. Over the next 6 months, Gary murdered at least 6 men across Florida, Maryland, and Georgia. Police departments along the East Coast began connecting the crimes. Same method, same type of victim, and the same highway running through every scene. His final known victim was Walter Wally Hinton, a 42-year-old man in Jacksonville, Florida, murdered in November 1994. Investigators found a cigarette butt at the scene containing Gary's DNA. This was the break they needed. On November 22, 1994, Gary was arrested in Jacksonville after police tracked him through a series of ATM withdrawals and witness sightings. During questioning, he confessed to multiple murders, calmly explaining that he blamed gay men for ruining his life, even though there was no evidence any had ever harmed him. Gary was ultimately convicted in several states, but Florida sentenced him to death. Gary written an apology statement to the families of his victims, but many felt his words came too late. On August 22, 2019, Gary was executed by lethal injection. Follow for more nightmares.